This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for getting up with us to start your Sunday. I'm Brittany Falkers, and topping headlines this morning here in Portland, 2 swimmers vanished in the Columbia River. One is still missing this morning. Plus, how high is too high? A push to keep high rises in the Pearl District low enough to keep everyone happy. But we start this morning with the large wildfire in southern Oregon that has now jumped across I-5. This new video shows just how close the flames are to the freeway. I-5 southbound is down to 1 lane near Canyonville. That's about half an hour south of Roseburg. Now it's being called the Milepost 97 fire, and it's grown about 9,000 acres. About 900 firefighters, along with more than a dozen helicopters, are fighting this fire, and some people are being encouraged to evacuate.
I was talking with my grandfather this morning, and we didn't sleep much last night, so we'd go out and look, and you can see the glow from the fire. Yeah. And it's, it's got us all, our hearts racing. I am very nervous about it all because we've never actually had to leave. It's gotten close before.
So much smoke you could see from that video there. And to make matters worse for firefighters, someone took this cargo trailer belonging to the Douglas Forest Protection Association from right off the shoulder of I-5. And they say they need that equipment that's inside to help fight the fire. So let's start things off with Rod Hill and a check of your forecast. Rod, will today's forecast be impacting those wildfires?
Well, generally speaking, things are fairly quiet down there. We are talking about high temperatures in southern Oregon for that Milepost 97 fire, 90 degrees or better. And that's actually down from a couple of days ago when they were in the upper 90s. But Brittany mentioned we're up to about 9,000 acres now. The smoke is expected to thin out somewhat today if your travels take you down that way, but the smoke will rethicken again overnight tonight into Monday. I mentioned high temps in the 90s. There's a thunderstorm threat. The wind field is west-northwest, but fairly light. So, all things considered, it's a pretty quiet summer forecast. So we'll take that as a nugget of good news. Here's the beautiful blue sky up top from the Olympic Mills Commerce Center Rose City camera. We're at 60. This is going to be a beautiful day. No rain chance like what we had yesterday morning. 60 right now, 72 at lunchtime. Sunny blue today, and we'll warm it up to about 84. I'll have your 7-day forecast coming up shortly.
All right, thanks so much, Rod. Meanwhile, all lanes of Highway 22 near Salem are back open this morning after this grass fire shut down part of the road yesterday afternoon. It was burning about 2 miles west of the city, and at one point, it was threatening structures. Crews, though, were able to get it fully contained. Meanwhile, deputies have suspended the search for a missing swimmer off Sauvie Island. He vanished in the Columbia River Friday night between Willow Bar and Reeder Beach. Witnesses say they tried to help him, but he disappeared. Deputies have not yet released his name. And not long after that search began Friday, another man died in the Columbia River. Authorities say 22-year-old Carlos Laura Escuerdo was swimming near Kelly Point when he went under the water and was killed. It's the first confirmed drowning death the Multnomah County River Patrol has handled this year. Art Edwards has our story.
People who visit Kelly Point Park regularly know the danger.
I know the water, it's really dangerous exactly when you go a little bit further, but I still see people that does it and go.
Kelly Point is a favorite spot to fish for some, but they know it's best to stay out of the water.
Willamette, Columbia meet up, so the water under is really fast. If it pulls you down, you're a goner, you're not coming out.
Signs are posted at the park telling beachgoers to stay out of the water. They are in several languages. They were put up in 2016 after 2 deaths on the river. Deputy Sheriff Scott McDowell with the Multnomah County River Patrol has a reminder about the dangers of the river.
Pretty much all along the Columbia is all that same. It's unpredictable. You can walk out in some areas 100 feet or more away from shore and you're knee deep, and then all of a sudden you're in over your head.
McDowell offered tips if you see someone in trouble in the water. First, reach for that person, if you can, to pull them out of the water. If that doesn't work, throw a flotation device to them. Anything from a life jacket to a cooler to help them stay above the water. Then row out to that person if you're in a boat and can get them safely in. And finally, go call 911. McDowell says swimmers need to be prepared, and it starts by knowing your limitations.
Know that if you don't know how to swim or can't swim very well, that you need to wear a life jacket, wear something, or don't go in the water.
Our thanks to Art Edwards for that story. Now, McDowell says to make sure that you have a proper life jacket, one that fits and is appropriate for the conditions. The FBI is still searching for a missing Oregon toddler after his parents both died in an apparent murder-suicide in Montana. Aiden Salcido was last seen with his parents at a Walmart in Medford, but that was in early June, more than a month ago. And Wednesday, his parents, both wanted for burglary, led police to a car chase in Montana. When police finally caught up, they say they found the mother with a gunshot wound to her head and the father with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Aiden was not with them.
At this point, all scenarios are on the table. So obviously we hope that she cared enough for Aiden that we hope that she ended up dropping him off with either family up in the Northwest or some kind of foster care setup.
Relatives do say the family was homeless and would camp along a popular trail park near Medford. We're going to keep you posted as that search continues. Back here in Portland, plans are in the works right now to turn one of the few parking lots in the Pearl District into a high-rise building. But two neighborhood groups are pushing back against the idea. KGW's Lindsay Nadrich found out why.
This parking lot at Northwest 12th Avenue in Flanders would be turned into a 23-story mixed-use building. The city says it's unique because the building has a pretty small footprint for how tall it would be. There's currently nothing like it in that part of the Pearl District, which is just one reason the Pearl District Neighborhood Association has some concerns.
It'll be a very prominent building. It's the first building with the new code that allows this height in this particular part of the Pearl. And so it's very important that it be done very well.
David Dysert, the co-chair of the Neighborhood Association, says they're not against the high-rise completely, but they do want a few of the design elements to be changed. For example, it's only a block from the historic district, so they want it to look more like the neighborhood it's in. They also want it to have more windows on the top to help preserve the view. Traffic and congestion are other concerns. The new hotel would be right next to a bikeway the city is planning to put in.
It's a connection for pedestrians and bicycles to go from Northwest all the way to the river and across the river. So it's a citywide connector, and it's something we've been working on for a long time.
The Neighborhood Association also worries this high-rise could be the first of many in this part of the Pearl.
We're not anti-development. We want mixed use, we want density, we want alternative modes of transportation, we want affordable housing. But because this is a precedent-setting building, it really needs to be done right.
Then there's the issue of parking. The new building doesn't have any in the plans. That's another reason a different Pearl District neighborhood group is also against the development. The city, though, says the developer isn't required to include parking.
That was Lindsay Nadrich reporting. Now, again, this is not a done deal yet. It's still in the design phase. And the city says they're open to suggestions and have already made changes based on feedback. So if you want to weigh in, there's another public hearing about it on September 19th. And we've got the details in this story at KGW.com.